All right, what is going on, my dudes? We're back here today with the newest champ entering MCOC. We have Photon. So, Photon is a pretty interesting champion. She's got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to go over all of it today. She's one of those champions who has so many words in her kit, but I promise she's so much easier to use and understand than she reads. You don't have to know all of this. It's not important to know all of it, okay? Now, first things first, Photon is going to be a very strong and relevant defender for the foreseeable future, I think. Now, she does preferably want to be duped in order to be a better defender. She can be a decent defender unduped, but she's going to be much better when she is duped. Now, offensively, you're not going to notice too much of a difference with her offensive uses. You can still use her. She gets some extra added utility from it, and we'll go over that in just a bit. But in general, if you pull the 7-star and she's unduped, you totally can use her. So let's start going over it. First things first, and this is kind of a defensive thing, but also offensive. When she's stunned, she kind of like gets an untouchable passive. She goes invisible for 2.5 seconds. She has a 100% chance to miss if the opponent misses. It goes on cooldown for a few seconds, okay? Now, she's immune to bleed. She's immune to power steal, all right? She can trigger the parry mastery against non-contact attacks like Ebony Maw, like Shuri, okay? Also, all of her attacks deal energy damage. I don't recommend you fight Korg with her, but you could if you have to. Again, I don't recommend it, but you could, okay? Now, every time you attack the opponent or every time you inflict them with the debuff, and that includes the parry mastery, the stun, you're going to put a petrify passive 80% potency on them for 0.5 seconds, okay? Now, if the opponent has the willpower mastery active, it is removed, so you don't have to worry about despair, all that other stuff, right? All the debuffs, all the healing. Now, of course, the petrify is going to reverse their healing a little bit, so despair is going to work even nicely with all of the debuffs that she has, but just keep in mind, she's not one of those science champions who just feeds willpower healing because it's shut off. Now, her medium attacks cannot miss, okay? Now, this is one thing I really like about Photon. She has a lot of very, very unique utility, specific utility that really targets annoying Mystic defenders. So straight up, Spidey Supreme, right? You can attack him with your mediums and you're going to trigger his phase, but you're not going to miss, all right? Now, basically, Photon is kind of like an homage to Captain Marvel movie. They kind of have like very similar kits, but in different ways, okay? Kind of an improved version, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit less damage, but more utility and more stuff going on, and a better 2A champion. So, basically, she has these charges, all right? And she's going to gain a charge in a few ways, but mostly every time you put a debuff on the defender, okay? Now, both champions' medium attacks inflict a 10% suppression on the opponent, okay? Max stacks of 2. Her first and third light attack are going to do an energy vulnerability debuff, max stacks of 10. Keep in mind, all of her attacks are energy, so as you stack those up, you're going to be doing more damage. Also, the first hit of both champions' heavy attacks does a non-stacking sunder debuff on the opponent, and that's going to reduce the opponent's critical resistance to 0. Now, her electromagnetic charges, these are like her Captain Marvel movie charges, all right? Like I said, +1 when the opponent has a debuff, and +4 if the opponent misses with the cooldown of 3 seconds, okay? So there's some fun stuff you could do, kind of like encroaching stun, stuff like that, where you get stunned, and then you go invisible, and then they miss, and you gain charges, but in general, you're going to be using your rotation to get to 25 charges using debuffs, all right? Now, while at 10 charges or more, dashing back, holding block for 1.2 seconds, or being knocked down, you're going to activate your pure light form. But when you're really going to activate it, like when you're actually going to be doing it, is when it happens automatically at 25 charges. When this happens, you're going to gain an indefinite fury for every 5 charges. That's why you want all 25 to get plus 5,000 attack here. And when you are in this pure light form, all of your attacks don't miss, not just your first medium, okay, or both mediums, and your personal debuffs expire 50% more slowly. So that 10-second energy vulnerability is going to be a 15-second energy vulnerability, okay? Now, obviously, you can't gain your charges once you're in your pure light form, and each charge lasts for 0.9 seconds. falling off one at a time, okay? So unlike Captain Marvel movie, where you can get them in the corner and heavy attack to keep your charges up forever, with Photon, nah, not how it goes. They fall off, so you don't have to play super stressful. You know that you have to reset, okay? Now, while in your pure light form, her special attacks cannot be avoided with the dexterity mastery. This is like cool on offense, but let's be real, it's a defensive ability, all right? You really want to counter when you fight her, or else you won't be able to avoid her unblockable special attacks, okay? Now, electromagnetic charges pause during the opponent's special attacks and for 3 seconds when Photon punishes the opponent's special attacks. Not a heavy punish, although there is a synergy for that, but just a regular attack after their special attack is going to pause it for 3 seconds. So yes, you can't gain more charges, but you can pause and extend the duration of the pure light form to keep it going longer than you need it to, really, okay? And keep in mind the charges carry over fight to fight, so just like CMM, it's going to have a quicker ramp up in our second and third and fourth fight, all right? Now, her special, I like to go in the order that we use the specials in the fight. So special 2, the final hit is going to put a taunt on the opponent, and in your pure light form, which is when you want to use this obviously, the attack is passively unblockable, all right? Now, the electromagnetic charges are paused for the duration, and Photon gains a 100% untouchable passive for 3 seconds after the final hit, alright? This is great for baiting special attacks and stuff like that because the taunt is on the opponent. Also, in the pure light form, that 10-second taunt is going to be 15 seconds, which is kind of lengthy, alright? Now, the special 1, alright? In pure light form, the final hit is passively unblockable except against well-timed blocks. Again, mostly defensive, but that could also be nice on offense. But the special 1, on activation, you inflict a 10% overload debuff for 8 seconds. Again, 12 seconds in pure light. If pure light is active, inflict an additional overload debuff, max stacks of 10. So yeah, those can really stack up and you can be doing a lot of extra damage. Overload is basically like trauma, except for energy damage, all right? Now the special 3, max stacks of electromagnetic charges increases by 5 until the end of the fight. This effect can occur 3 times, all right? So in longer fights, you can get 3 more furies if you really need. And if you're at or above 20 charges when you use it, you gain a non-stacking regen passive that pauses when you attack the opponent, okay? So that's actually a kind of nice regen passive. So she is immune to bleed, so she is like semi-suicide friendly, especially with the regen, but the poison is still there. So yeah, man, that's Photon. She's got a lot going on. Once she's awakened, which is really nice to have, she's completely immune to neutralize, so she's going to be great for Rintra then, all right? No cow charges. The heavy attack going to put the Sunder to reduce his crit resistance down, okay? Also, her block proficiency is going to be increased and reduce the opponents, and this right here is the defensive ability. Photon has a 65% chance to inflict one of her personal energy vulnerability debuffs on the opponent when struck by or blocking a light attack. So again, you get debuffs on you and you attack her when she's duped, which is going to ramp her, which is essentially going to make her kill you, okay? So that is Photon. That is how she works. Let's start looking at some fights. We're going to be using our girl Jane today as a punching bag once more. This is going to be a rank 5 6-star Photon against a 215,000 health Jane Foster. Now, as you can see, she hit me with a light attack right away, put the energy vulnerability on her. What I'm going to be doing here, mostly what I like to do is focus on the medium light combos. One thing I didn't mention, if the opponent uses a special attack, you're going to gain a charge, okay? Keep that in mind, all right? So now medium light is going to put 2 charges on. At this point, I'm in my pure light form. I'm going heavy attack into special 2 to put the Sunder on. I have the untouchable and the taunt active, and at this point, I want to build to under 2 bars of power. As you can see, I still have over 20 charges left, right? We have all these debuffs on the opponent, going for a special 1 to pop 2 overloads on. I don't know why I'm going in slow motion here. We're lagging. That's okay. But yeah, we're going to counter with a heavy attack. Don't need to do that, but what is going on? What is with the lag? Anyway, she's dead, all right? So that was about 220,000 health, right? So that was very, very solid. If this was like a 7-star rank 2, like Sasquatch or Mango or something like that, you might have a bit more trouble there. You have to use a couple more special ones. But as you can see here, she has 12 of her charges, okay? 12. That means she's going to go into the next fight with 12 charges already, we have to do 12 less debuffs before we enter our pure light form. Now, this could actually be good and also a little bit unhelpful, because I really like to go for that special 2 into the 2 special 1s, but you could build to just under 2 bars of power at this point and go special 1 right away and get ramped that much quicker. Now, I'm showing the Sig ability here because I'm going to show you the 7-star unduped next, okay? And like I said, for offensive purposes, when you don't need the neutralize immunity, it's essentially going to be the same feeling, all right? So, jumping in with the 7-star, this is a 7-star rank 2 here, all right? So, we're getting smacked in the face, and it sucks because we're unduped, so we're not even putting debuffs on her, we're just getting smacked. Oh my god, you do need her duped. No, you don't. Okay, so watch, I'm going medium light, same as before. We got smacked in the face, that's okay. I'm not too concerned about it. This Jane Foster has about, give or take, 700,000 health, right? Something like that. Here, we're in our pure light form. I like doing that heavy attack into special 2 just because 0 crit resist is nice. I don't even think Jane has any, but that's okay. We're gonna put it on anyway, okay? So, one thing to keep in mind actually is that Jane Foster has energy resistance, okay? So against other champions, we're actually going to be doing more damage, all right? Keep that in mind. However, the class advantage probably kind of evens that out. I'm noticing that the special 1 is lagging my recording here every time I use it. So maybe, watch out for that. What is going on, man, with the recording? Anyway, all I'm doing here essentially is going for special 1s at this point. I'm going to try and fix this, though. Hopefully that's fixed. I don't know. Point is, though, all right, we're still in our first cycle here, our first pure light cycle, okay? We got another special 1 going off here. Bam! Gonna bait that special 1 from her. Gonna pause it for 3 more seconds. Go for our special 1 here while the pure light is still active. And it's just going to run out just as she's dead. Basically, 1 more combo, and that's going to be it. So yeah, that was Photon, right? Pretty effective, pretty simple, man. She's got a lot going on, but at the end of the day, her rotation is rather simple. Attack the opponent. You can do 5-hit combos if you want to, but I really do like the medium light just to build up all those debuffs and to pure light as fast as possible. You can even do parry, medium light, back off, repeat for 3 debuffs and 2 hits. Definitely a very solid way to go about it. But what makes Photon so solid for me is that she has a lot of keys against Mystic defenders. So we talked about most of these as we were going along, but, you know, Spidey Supreme, for example, right? This guy's annoying. You can go ahead and just go for the medium attacks here. As you can see, it's going to trigger his miss. What you can do is you can go for a light attack like that in order to trigger his miss so that it stops, right? That way you can go for full 5-hit combos here on the way up, and you're just essentially fighting him like a normal champ at this point. We have Dr. Doom. Now, why is she good for Dr. Doom? Is she shock immune? Is she nullify immune? No, none of it. But she has a Sunder, and look at those yellow numbers. She is critting Dr. Doom on more than half of her hits because his crit resistance is being reduced down to 0. Also, watch this. I'm getting hit on purpose here so I can show you this. I love this. When you get stunned, you go untouchable. Lots of fun, right? We got this guy. We got the cow, all right? As you can see, when we're duped, we're immune to neutralize. So literally 0 cow charges no matter what happens here. Yeah, we're not gonna have to neutralize on us, and we're never gonna get the cow charges. We need it, right? Look at that. Look at that. Just like Silk came out last month and just like punched this guy right in the face. Now Photon's coming out and punching him somewhere else. That's where he's getting punched, somewhere else. We got hit. But we have unblockable specials, so it's okay. In the same vein, we have Wiccan, right? Never going to get those Incinerate or stuff on us because we are immune to his neutralized debuff. Finally, we have Ebony Coleslaw here. Okay, look at this. The medium attacks, right? The non-contact hits. You can just parry him all day, knock him down with the heavy. Super duper easy, right? Yeah, pretty simple stuff. Just has lots of keys against the Mystic class specifically. According, again, there's also Shuri, right? She could parry Shuri, which is definitely very nice. Not many champions could do that. That's something that makes her pretty annoying on defense. But yeah, that's definitely annoying. But yeah, man, that's Photon. She's got a lot going on. She's gonna be solid for Battlegrounds, really. Her ramp is very nice for that size helpful. Battlegrounds, Alliance War. You don't really have to worry about keeping yourself paused. You just get to 25 under 3 bars of power, and then you just start spamming special attacks. Pretty darn solid. But I feel like she's going to end up being a defender more often than not, just because if the opponent does not have, a counter to her, she's just not going to be fun to fight. And that's just, that's kind of how those defensive leaning champions tend to go. Like, we have Rintra, for example, who's always on defense, even though he's a phenomenal attacker. It's just kind of how it goes. So it's nice, though, to have those defensive champions who have that offensive potential when you need it, right? If there is a Dr. Doom on the other side, and you have, like, let's say you have, like, a Korg and a Photon left for round 3, right? And then someone else, and then they place their Dr. Doom, you can place your Korg, and you can actually use your Photon on offense. And of course, it's going to depend person to person and draft to draft and round to round, all that fun stuff. But she does have value in both offense and defense, is my point, which is nice. So for her synergies here, a nice one for Elsa, for the Elsa fans. Elsa gets a slow on her counter attack, and she can't miss with it. This is nice. This is actually, Kamala Khan, no offense, Suida kind of sucks, but she's definitely better with this one. If you counter the opponent's heavy with your special with the heavy attack, you refresh 3 of your Fury buffs, which is nice. Photon, your pause additional 3 seconds, which is nice. Captain Marvel, more charges, nice. It's actually really good for Mr. Negative here. One of doing his evade. Non-stacking slow for 5 seconds. I actually fought a thing on node 25 in Alliance War last season while I was recording the deep dive here, and I shot the designer a message, and I was like, wish I had that synergy, man, because that would have been really helpful. But yeah, also Photon reduces the potency of incoming debuffs, degen effects for each unique debuff on the opponent, and you can have like 4 to 5, right, depending, I believe. Taunt, overload, suppression, energy vulnerability, parry. I guess you can have parry. Oh, sunder. Okay, you can have 5, so you actually can reduce that down to 0, which is interesting. So that's it for this one. That is Photon. Sorry for the lag. Sorry for the technical issues. I don't know what the hell that was about, but it is what it is. Let me know what you think about Photon in the comment section below. Are you digging her? Are you not? Let me know. Do you like her for defense? Do you like her for offense? I'm curious what you think. That's it for this one. I'll be seeing you around, man.